Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bigger Than Race. You know who this is? This is your boy, Brando. Guys, today I want to talk to you about things that are going to be the new way of life. We've seen this in movies. We've seen this in TV shows. We have seen the transfer of consciousness from older body to younger body. You've seen it in movies like Get Out. You've seen it in movies like Selfless with Ryan Reynolds. Ladies and gentlemen, this may be a difficult subject for many of you to handle, but just because you don't believe something is true does not mean it is not true. Guys, you see two faces on the screen. One of them, named Steve Jobs, you thought was actually dead. And then you have on the right, you have Charles Hoskinson from Cardano. Now, what if Steve Jobs is really alive? What if Steve Jobs had uploaded his mind, his consciousness, to another physical human being? What if? You don't know. So you can't possibly sit here and tell me that I'm crazy. Because you would be crazy to not believe or to think that the stuff that you are seeing on TV is not predictive programming, and it would just somehow be a fairy tale. All because your little mind cannot conceive it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to tell you, and I hate to be the bearer of truth, but it seems like that is our job on this channel. It's to bring you other perspectives that you may not have been aware of. And we're going to bring it to you, whether you like it or not. And the technology that we are seeing emerging today between companies like Neuralink or SingularityNet, they will play a major part in working together to bring this uploading in these virtual worlds and the consciousness transferring on a wide scale. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to tune in and watch what's in store. Now, ladies and gentlemen, can you see the predictive programming in this TV show called Upload? Can you see what is actually in store for us? Ladies and gentlemen, the rabbit hole goes deep. But it is up to you how deep you would like to go and how much information you really want to know. But some of us can't go that deep. We can't even handle it. Because then cognitive dissonance starts to kick in, and now we have to question everything we've ever been taught. Now let's take a more deeper look into the uploading of our consciousness to a computer.
Hello, I'm interested in the process by which I could download everything from my brain and upload it into a brain that's inside of the body of Ryan Reynolds. Is that possible? Asking for a friend. Hey there, Brainiacs. Trace here for D-News. Over the centuries, we have compared our brain to clocks, telephone switchboards, and now, of course, computers. But really, the brain is none of these things. It's its own thing. In the upcoming movie Selfless, a dying man uses pretty crazy cool technology to transfer his consciousness into a younger man's body. One would assume that each brain has similar programming for how to run a heart, for example, or manage an immune system, and so on. So we just need the memory data from the person that we're downloading from. But if I wanted to download all the data from one brain and upload it into another brain, would that even be possible? Stephen Hawking thinks so, and futurist Ray Kurzweil believes that we are only 40 years away from doing this. So what's blocking us from starting our first brain backups? What tech do we need? Firstly, we'd have to be able to read from the source brain. Scientists will have to learn how we store these memories. Neurons don't simply store one bit of information like in a computer. Each neuron can create 1,000 connections with those around them, and unlike machines, aren't only on or off. They have other states as well. Luckily, humans are pretty obsessed with mind reading. Researchers at the University of California, Berkeley scanned the brains of people while they were watching videos, and using only the brain scans, a computer was able to determine what those brains were looking at. Using an fMRI scan, the researchers followed blood through the brain. Then they created three-dimensional representations of the scanned areas called voxels, or a three-dimensional pixel. The researchers trained the computer to piece together what that brain was looking at, like, for example, a face that was talking or something that was swimming. Using tech like this, scientists have scanned brains of players of Counter-Strike and saw whether they wanted to turn left or right. But if their character was killed, an emotional response overwhelmed the scan. Emotions are way too complex for us to read yet. Next, we're going to have to learn to write to that new brain. When we do that, we're biochemically modifying neurons and their connections to other neurons. There are trillions of these synaptic connections in each person's head. A study in Nature explored exactly how this process works using mice with cells that have been genetically modified to activate when hit with a laser light. This is called optogenetics. With this method, researchers were able to demonstrate how memories are written, erased, and reactivated, and then were able to implant a false memory into another genetically modified mouse. This is pretty incredible stuff. We can't just do this with any mouse off the street. Yet. So let's assume we do get to a point where we can read and write to our brains reliably. We would need to copy the information from one brain to another. But the human brain isn't a finite storage system like a hard drive. There could be a lot of space in there. Estimates vary from 2.5 petabytes down to a few measly gigabytes themselves. If you wanted to copy 2.5 petabytes over, say, a USB 3.0 connection, it would have to run continuously for more than 80 days. And even over the new Thunderbolt 3 connection, it would take almost a week to copy that data. The biggest issue in consciousness transfer, though, isn't the time or being able to read or write, but it's going to be mapping the brain accurately. Computer scientists from giant companies, major universities, and world governments have been working on mapping and translating the brain network to a computer network for decades. But thoughts don't live on a single neuron, nor are they processed in a single place, but rather as a patterned network of brain cells that pick up the information and process it. We're at the fundamental level of brain mapping already. We've got a while to go until we can map all the connections and states of all our individual neurons at one time in real time. But just imagine where we'll be in a few more decades, considering where we are already. Billions of dollars are being spent on this, and according to top minds in the field, it is only a matter of time until we learn to emulate a brain in a computer and then map a consciousness on top of it. Based on what we know now, maybe we aren't too far from that brain-copying future after all. Selfless hits theaters on July 10th and will star Ben Kingsley and Ryan Reynolds. In this sci-fi tale, an extremely wealthy man dying from cancer undergoes a radical medical procedure that transfers his consciousness into the body of a healthy young man. Looks like a pretty cool movie. If you could, would you extend your life with a consciousness transfer? You can tell us down in the comments, or you can come find us on Twitter as well. We're at DNews. Make sure you subscribe for more videos every day.
Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand something. Steve Jobs supposedly died. But he was still being seen in other parts of the world in a wheelchair. And if you see the movies like this, you see that they once were old, and then before the procedure, they are wheeled around in wheelchairs as they get ready. Now, a guy like Charles Hoskinson, no one knew who the fuck he was. But he somehow magically reappeared, and he's this big figure, and we know him as the Cardano. And I like Charles Hoskinson, but to me, there's something a little off. There's something a little weird. I don't know if you can pinpoint it, but see, not everybody has the vision to see certain things. So I may even tell you, you may think I'm crazy. But there is people out there who are on the same frequency as I am, and they could also see this type of information. So when I heard it from the source that I heard it from, I said, oh, damn. She's talking something that is very well possible. Because even if you look at who the first partner who is allowing to be cross-chained from Ethereum to Cardano, it happens to be Singularity Net, which deals with the technology specifically of artificial intelligence and mind uploading, because they will be connected to the Neuralink, which ultimately would connect to the Singularity, which is going to be that one consciousness that will rule the world and will get smarter and smarter as time goes on. So I wouldn't outrule it. I just want to show you the possibilities. And Steve Jobs could very well still be alive today, but in another human being's body. Even if you cannot conceive that, that doesn't mean that it's not actually happening. Because why would they show this continuously on movies and TV shows and things of that nature? Please, someone tell me. Tell me why we are seeing this type of technology being introduced today. There's a lot of smart people out there that know that this technology exists. They even know the people that were once dead but are still alive because their consciousness is in another human being. Now, Kendra Hill, this was on her Steam It. And she talks about a lot of different things. And here, this was somebody that was replying to her, because she mentioned this first about Charles Hoskinson actually being Steve Jobs. It's just Steve Jobs' consciousness was put into the physical body called Charles Hoskinson, who we now know that is going to be this revolutionary, groundbreaking figure in the blockchain space. And it says here, you claim that transferring one's consciousness to another body is not only possible, but happening right now. And that Steve Jobs' consciousness is now in Charles Hoskinson. Inconceivable. Then I saw a video of Charles Hoskinson going off on a rant, and it was pure Steve Jobs. If I'd closed my eyes, I would not have been able to tell the difference. It says, I read your writings on Lucifer and the ether, and it opened my eyes on an entirely different perspective. Having been raised in Judeo-Christian environment, the name Lucifer used to conjure up images of Satan and Satanism and evil and blood sacrifices. You helped me see through the brainwashing to a new worldview. See, the key word is you've been brainwashed to believe certain things. But everything you have been taught and brainwashed with, you need to question. And that is why this channel has come out at this divine time to help you question all of the brainwashing that is out there. There's a lot of it. And there's a lot of information that we bring that a lot of other channels don't bring you, because either they don't know it or they want the truth to be hidden. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive deeper. Mind uploading. It gives you a description on how this whole works. Whole brain emulation, WBE, mind upload or brain upload, sometimes called mind copying or mind transfer, is the hypothetical futuristic process of scanning a physical structure of the brain accurately enough to emulate the mental state, including long-term memory and self, of a particular brain substrate and copying it to a computer in a digital form. The computer could then run a simulation model of the brain's information processing such that it would respond in essentially the same way as the original brain. Now, you can continue to read deeper into this, but this is just giving you a little more insight that this shit is real. Mind uploading may potentially be accomplished by either of two methods, copy and transfer, or gradual replacement of neurons. Just think about it, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to back up your computer on a hard drive, you can do so. It's called on a Mac. It is called the Time Machine, which copies your whole everything you have on your computer, and then you can bring it onto a new computer. You can do it with computers. They're showing it on movies that you can do it with the mind. Artificial intelligence is helping to bring all of this stuff even closer. Super intelligence, you have the robots coming along. All I'm saying is be open to the possibilities, ladies and gentlemen, because what you think you know, you have no damn clue. We have humanoid robots. People seem to think clones are not real. Some people say they hear about people talking about clones and they check out. See, you check out because your brain has not reached a level of understanding. There's nothing wrong with the information that is being presented. It's just you have not graduated to the level of understanding to be able to be open enough to see other perspectives of this here matrix. See, you live in a world that is catered to you, because if you don't get that catering feeling, then you just feel out of place. You feel like the world is against you, like you seeing double. But ladies and gentlemen, the information that makes you uncomfortable, that is where you need to go deeper in. Because that uncomfortable feeling is a feeling of something new that you haven't quite discovered. But see, now that cognitive dissonance kicks in and it makes you question. Now you battling against the information. I know there might be a couple of crazy people in the comment box saying, "You're crazy. I'm unsubscribing." Listen, it does not matter one way or another. Because if you unsubscribe because of the information that I'm telling you, there's going to be 2 more people per your 1 subscription that will come back in because they want the truth. They're tired of being lied to. They're tired of being bamboozled. They're tired of the same old rhetoric being kicked around and permeated and perpetuated throughout the universe and into the cosmos. There has to be a change. And if Bigger Than Race is that channel for change, then so be it. And I'm going to tell you once and I'm going to tell you again. I've noticed a lot of other YouTubers, big YouTubers, like Digital Asset Investor. We will promote certain things on our channel. A day, 2 days later, he talks about the same stuff we are covering. And they don't give credit where credit is due. If you take from the channel, because I know you won't really have the wherewithal to come up with this information, because we're ahead of the curve. The only place you're going to get this type of good information is on this channel, Bigger Than Race, and on Crypto Teachers channel. But if you here's information from this channel, and you then go to utilize it and try to regurgitate it and flip it a different way on your channel, just know I see you. We see you. And you have to be called out, especially if you do not give the credit to the channel. You give credit to everyone else. You say the same things that we say on the channel. So that was my address there for Mr. Digital Asset Investor. If you're going to take from the channel, please give credit, okay? You got about 63,000 subscribers. It's okay to give a little credit unless you want the truth to be hidden and you want to tell the people what you want to tell them, whatever fits your agenda and narrative. But why don't you tell the people the real truth about how the Vega protocol is actually being built on the cosmos? The XRP ledger is connected and is dealt with on the Cosmos. See, everybody thinks the XRP ledger, everything is going to run on the XRP ledger, but that's not the truth. Everything is running on the Cosmos, and everything is running on the stellar universe. Everything will not be ran on the XRP ledger. That is a bunch of rhetoric and noise that they constantly feed the masses, which we call the XRP community. And there's a plethora of information that we have that's getting ready to come out that's going to break all of this down and it's going to show you. And I want to see if digital asset investor and channels like his are going to cover this information, which is the truth. Because if they don't cover it, it's because they don't know about it. Or number two, it's because they don't want this information out to the masses of the crypto XRP community. They want you to continue to believe the narratives that they have been spinning for the last 4 years. And somebody had to do this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just sorry it had to be us. But we are comfortable and confident with what we're doing over here. And as they always say, cream always rises to the top. And the truth shall always be that beacon of light in the darkness. And ladies and gentlemen, anytime you are looking for a little light, you can always come to this channel. We're like Motel 6. We'll keep the light on for you. Ladies and gentlemen, last thing I want to show you here is a couple of different pictures that deal with the mind uploading and how it works. Dendrite, cell body, axon, nerve ending. This is the connections on the nerves that they will be using to upload. So little diagrams. This tells you the stochastic behavior of single molecules, distribution of complexes, states of protein complexes, all of this information, the neural simulation, the spiking neural network. And why do you think neural link exists? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Am I speaking gibberish, or can you see what I'm seeing? The consciousness, behavior net, database perception, the constraint satisfaction, the negotiation, all of this is used for the upload. Inputs, weights, transfer function, threshold, activation function, net input. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is here for us to consume. Well, how many of us know about it? How many of us know about it? Not too many. Break this down for yourself. Do a little more deep dive research on this. Crypto Teacher always talks about videos that make you think. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to make you think for damn sure. Pay attention to these TV shows. Pay attention to what you see being built, the infrastructures. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to everything. Pay attention to every actor. Pay attention to every YouTuber. Pay attention to what they tell you. Pay attention to what they don't tell you. Because it's the shit that they don't tell you where all that juicy material is. All the gold. All of the silver. Ladies and gentlemen, as I told you before, if you're ever feeling lonely, if you ever feel like you need some light, you can always visit Bigger Than Race, because we're like Motel 6. We keep the light on for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bigger Than Race. This is your boy, Brando. Investigate truth on your own terms.